yeah, that all this information is on the back of your handout, so I'm not going to. I know we're running a little bit short of time, so I'll just be really, really quick. But essentially, the background to this is that in parallel with what the golf project has been doing at Lancaster University campus. So for those of you that aren't from Lancaster and don't know us, the university campus is kind of about 3 miles out of the town centre, so we are a campus university. So it is in some ways a little bit of a microcosm of a little town in itself. And that's why I thought it might be worth actually talking about, I think it's interesting just chatting to Anna and the golf team. I think some of the solutions perhaps that might work for increasing people's access to local food in town may actually be different to some of those that we need on campus, because there are lots of similarities, but there are also potential differences as well. So I just wanted to kind of reflect on some of that. So we've had a project going on which has been funded and run basically by Lancaster University Students' Union, which is basically they got some funding to transform the green. We're very fortunate, we have a lot of green spaces on campus, and basically the idea was let's plant them up with, let's get students and staff involved in planting them up with edibles basically. So we are kind of trying to create an edible campus, of which some of the pictures from that you can see on the front there. But essentially, as part of that, we wanted to know how effective has this project been in kind of increasing people's access to local and sustainable food on campus. And so this is some really, really quick, we haven't fully analysed the results yet, but it's some real parallels to the research that Anna mentioned as well. I think the main finding that kind of came out of it was that this is an issue everywhere, but especially on campus, we really, really picked up from people's food diaries that there was this real culture of just rush, hurry, busyness, snacking, and that was the issue is not attitudes. Students really aspired to eat healthily, and they really did want to support local produce, and they felt better when they did and bad when they didn't. And it wasn't actually particularly about cost either. Perceived cost was one thing, but I think cost wasn't so much of an issue, because takeaways, and a lot of them acknowledged that takeaways and booze and everything was pretty expensive as well. So, but it was this culture of snacking, and often people were having a decent breakfast and a decent evening meal, but lunch was kind of just getting missed altogether or squeezed out. And Greggs and Subway, that are two kind of big retailers we have on campus, are really winning in this regard, because they're right there and people are running past and going, oh, I'm really hungry, I need something now on the way to lectures. So I think there's this real interesting challenge and tension between, on the one hand, one obvious way of getting more local food into the campus food system. A lot of people mentioned it would be great to have it more convenient. So to have a Greggs or a Subway, but that was all local and healthy and sustainable. So that it's kind of that was one option. But I think there's also a tension, because other people mentioned, we don't have any lunch break. There is no, you could be in lectures from 10 till 4 and there's no time for lunch. And I know particularly we've had international students come from countries where food has a much bigger social and cultural space in the day as well. And there are very few spaces to actually eat and sit with friends and bring in pre-prepared food on campus as well. So I think there's this real tension between, on the one hand, maybe we could do more local, healthy, sustainable convenience food like we have at our farmers markets in the square, but also maybe a need to also create more time and space for food within the day as a well-being thing too. This is essentially, these are just some really quick ideas that came out of the surveys and the conversations that we did with people. So on the one hand, people were saying, well, there's loads of vending machines on campus and it's just junk food basically in them. Could we have vending machines selling, quick, healthy, local and sustainable food? I've already mentioned this, but this is more about interventions to the sort of the timing of things on campus and the physical spaces around us. Creating more space in the environment for food generally. Online and shopping and delivery was a big one. If you were to stand at the roundabout at the top of campus and spend 10 minutes there, I guarantee you would see, if not one, at least maybe even 3, Asda or Sainsbury's vans. Students shop online delivery mainly for convenience again. So a lot of them mentioned about, could you potentially shop online and have delivery of this idea of sort of Amazon-style lockers on campus to bring food to people in that way. Another issue that came up was some students were kind of eating and using healthy, local and sustainable food, and they were cooking for themselves, but and for flatmates as well. But we discovered that a real disincentive to shared cooking on campus was that the pans are tiny in the kitchen. They give you like pans this size, so how can you can't take advantage of kind of cooking in bulk, and there wasn't enough freezer and cupboard space so we thought that's something we could perhaps quite easily feed back to the facilities to support that a little bit better, really. Other ideas the students had were kind of, we've got a new executive chef who's been very passionate about using the Food for Life catering mark and getting local sourcing going. We thought he could do some more kind of cook-alongs that we video, and so, some of the students are really into these vlogs, like video blog things. You could potentially have those to kind of some ideas of meals that you could cook with your flatmates. We also have some students are on like what we call a catered meal package, where some of them, their breakfast and their dinner are included in their accommodation, and these seem to be really popular actually. So we thought, could you potentially have something like that, but add a packed lunch, because no one seems to make packed lunches anymore. That was really interesting actually. That's a video link. You can find out more about the Edible Campus project if you want to. And just a really quick plug, if anyone is around in Lancaster tomorrow and has spare produce that they want, we're piloting a bit of a glut market in the department I work in, so we're inviting people to bring in all their surplus produce. And all the proceeds are going to go to buying our preschool. The preschool want to get growing with the children they look after, so we're going to buy grow bags and grow boxes. So I'll stop there, and yeah, but I'm here all day, so if people want to chat to me, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts.